Spring mix is a really popular salad mix. It's something that is a nice, easy intro crop for anyone to get started in gardening. It comes up pretty quickly in 30 days, and it's just an all-around rewarding crop. In this chapter, I'm gonna teach you how to grow and harvest your own spring mix. Spring mix is actually a mix of a bunch of different leafy greens. So for instance, I've got a bowl here. In this mix, we've got lettuces, it's got some spinach. These look like maybe some baby beet greens. Depending on the pack that you get, there are a lot of different mixes that you can purchase. Yeah, just pick the variety that sounds the most delicious to you. So before we plant these seeds, let's talk about two things that spring mix needs: sun and nutrients. Spring mix can be grown in full sun, about 6 to 8 hours of sunshine, but it also can handle partial shade. So if all you have is 4 hours in the morning or some afternoon sun, that's fine. You can grow spring mix in a lot of different environments. And speaking of different environments, you can also plant spring mix in a pot. Make sure you're using potting soil. If you're planting it in a pot, make sure you have at least 4 inches of depth in your pot for your soil. The size of the pot you select will depend on how much spring mix you want to grow for yourself or for your family. You can plant spring mix in a raised bed like I have, and I fill this with either compost, or you can do garden soil or raised bed mix. You may also plant your spring mix in the ground. Now that you know where you're gonna plant them and you've got your perfect area picked out, let's plant these seeds. So I've got this beautiful seed packet. On the back of the packet, it has lots of information about the type of seeds that are in here, as well as what the seedlings would look like, the days to emerge, so how long it would take once you put the seed in the ground and you'll see a sprout emerge above the soil, as well as some spacing requirements. The packet suggests that you should broadcast your seed, which means just sprinkle it over the surface of the soil. With the experience that I've had, I find that it's best to actually plant your seeds in a row because it actually makes harvesting much easier. So that's what we're gonna do today, and that is the best technique for planting your spring mix. So lettuce seeds actually need a little bit of light to help them germinate. So that means that we're going to be planting these seeds very shallow. So let me show you these seeds. This is a mix, so you're gonna see a bunch of different seeds. Lettuce seeds, which are the white ones, and they're flat. We've got round seeds, which are the tatsoi, and also arugula, the seeds are round as well. And you might not be able right now to identify each individual seed, but based on your seed packet, you will know exactly what is in your mix. So I'm just gonna take my finger, index finger, and you're just gonna like lightly feather a little trench, not going deep. Pinch a few seeds in your fingers and just lightly sprinkle down the row. This is a 2-foot wide bed, probably dropped 50 seeds. And then we'll take a little bit of loose soil and just sprinkle it over the trench, lightly covering those seeds, and then you just press it down so there's good contact with the seed and the soil. Because the soil is gonna hold the moisture, and the seed needs to get that moisture, so they gotta have good contact. So as you can see, I barely covered those seeds up. We wanna make sure not to push soil over because then it's gonna be buried too deep, right? And then I'll continue on and do 3 more rows. Okay, so I'm gonna create my next row. You know, get your pinch, think about kind of like sprinkling salt. You know, if you're really close, all of it is gonna drop down, but then we also don't wanna be like really high because then that's gonna go wide. And we want it to stay in a row. So just sprinkle like you're sprinkling salt on your food. I've just got my last row of spring mix planted. So the next step is to carefully water them in. I'm gonna grab my hose. I always like to start my water off to the side So we're just going to gently just water. And we just want to get to just about half an inch to an inch deep. Okay. All right, that should be it. I'm gonna check where I haven't planted, so this raised part, and I can see that we've gotten to about a ½ inch deep on the water, so that's good. The initial watering after planting will be heavier. Ongoing, just keep the surface of the soil wet until the seeds emerge. So come out every few days, check on your soil, make sure the surface is wet. Seeds need wet soil to germinate. And once your seeds have emerged, you can cut back your watering to about once to twice a week. Always take into account, if it's rained, you might not need to water, okay? Now that they've been watered in, we're just gonna be checking periodically, and you're gonna be waiting to see those 2 little leaves sprout out of the ground, and you'll see that along your row. So I already planted some spring mix seeds 15 days ago on the other side of this container. They're over an inch tall, so let's go check them out. Over here, I've planted 5 rows of spring mix about 15 days ago, and they're looking beautiful. We've got different leaf shapes, different colors. I have some areas here that are shorter and look like they're just sprouting, so that lets me know that maybe right there, it might have gotten planted just a little bit deeper. But all in all, this looks beautiful, and this is what you should be expecting to see 15 days in when you plant your own mix. So I'll meet you back here in a couple of weeks, and we will talk about harvesting. It's been 15 days since I checked in on this beautiful spring mix. I've been watering it, and isn't it gorgeous? I love it, all the different textures. I can see all the different lettuces. We got some romaine leaves. We got some beautiful curly green leaves. We've got some red over here. So this is beautiful, and it is ready to harvest. And I know it's ready to harvest because the leaves are nice and big. We've got about 3 to 4 inches of this that we can cut. They're full, it's bountiful. I can't see any of the soil. So I'm just gonna separate and find my rows. Just, be gentle, because these are delicate leaves. Okay, get your scissors. It's a mix, so you can cut a bunch. I mean, if you're cutting 1 leaf at a time, you'll be here cutting all day long. But yeah, you can just grab a bunch in your hand, hold it, then I'm gonna cut about 2 to 3 inches, and that will preserve the center so it can continue to grow again. And then you've got your first harvest. Okay, and you see all these different colors. All right, we're just gonna continue down this row. And you can maybe decide to cut like this row and this second row the first time if you're having a really big salad or you're feeding a large family. So as you do your harvest across the bed, across the different rows, and you get to the end, you're gonna give yourself about a week before this row has grown back up and you can harvest it again. This is a cut and come again. So you're gonna cut it, and then you're gonna come back again and harvest again because it's gonna grow again for you. Okay, I'm just gonna finish up this row because it looks so beautiful. I love the sound of harvesting my own lettuce, just so crispy and fresh. So I think we're done here. This is definitely more than enough salad for me. So I just wanna do a little bit of cleanup. Like after you've harvested your lettuce, just go through, and any yellow leaves or anything on the side, you just wanna clean up anything that's kind of fallen off, and it'll just help it to grow better. So remember, this isn't your only harvest. This is gonna continue to grow, and you should be able to get about 3 to 4 cut-ins out of each row. If it's super hot where you are, it's probably gonna grow a little bit faster. The cooler it gets, it'll take a little bit longer to rebound, so maybe a week and a half up to 2 weeks if you're nearing the end of you're getting to the end of fall, more into winter. But lettuces can handle a little bit of cold, so they will continue to grow for you. Just think we started with just 1 small seed packet, and you're getting to harvest lettuce for months. Yum. Sweet, delicate, delicious. I mean, when you grow it yourself, it tastes the best. In this chapter, you learned all about growing your own spring mix, how to start from seed and plant them, how to water them, how much sun they needed, and the type of soil you would use. And you learned what to look for as it's growing and how to harvest your spring mix for a beautiful salad that hopefully will spark a lot of creativity for you and for your dinner. Happy growing.